Amy Jacobsen was plagued with injuries and thought she would never run again after high school. But then Coach Dean encouraged her to join Sequoia Gonzales on the El Camino track and cross country teams. So she took a leap of faith and faced the challenge. School records fell and even a state championship was attained when these two warriors worked together to achieve greatness. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Amy Jacobsen and Sequoia Gonzales, two inspirational warrior runners.
My name's Amy Jacobsen. I am going to be a senior at Cal State Northridge. I started at El Segundo High School, was a transfer from El Camino, and I've been running for almost 8 years now.
My name's Sequoia Gonzales. I was born in Torrance, California, but actually went to Carson until middle school, and then I went to Torrance High School, and then I came to El Camino, and from there I continued my college running.
How did you get involved in running?
Weird story. I actually was a swimmer originally, and in high school swimming was only a spring sport, so I needed a fall sport. I tried out for volleyball, did not work, so the last sport that actually could take me at the time was cross country. And honestly, like, as much as I did not love running, I fell in love with the sport and like the culture of like the people there and just the community that came with it.
So both my parents actually met at El Camino, and they're actually teammates on the team coached by Coach Dean Loughtrin, who ended up being my coach also. And so ever since I was young, that was the thing for me, was that I ran a lot.
Wow. So your parents actually met on the El Camino track?
They were teammates.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They were teammates.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you happen, well, that's
No, go ahead.
Coach Pose from Torrance. They're his teammate as well.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a whole circle here.
So running's kind of like runs in your family.
Yeah.
No pun intended, but
Yeah.
okay. But what do you get out of running? There's all these different sports, activities, things you can do. Why run? Like, why do that?
I mean, I definitely don't have the hand-eye coordination down, so I think running is just like pretty simple for me, and it's a way to kind of how do I explain this? It's a way to kind of just get out of my head sometimes about other things. So when I'm like stressed about school, I can go out and run, and it's very accessible. There's a bunch of people that I like, a big community, especially around home and now in Northridge, that I have, that I can just go out, like text, hey, can I go for a run? That's kind of like what I enjoy. And plus, like, I'm a big distance person, so like long runs are honestly my favorite days of the week. Sounds crazy because like 11 to 13 miles is not an easy feat, but I think I've just built up to it where it's at some points like you get runner's high. Like, I think you'll only experience it if you feel it yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, runner's high is a real thing for me.
Yeah.
And it's just a sense of accomplishment, especially like getting stuff done early in the morning, and then it's a good start to the day. So.
Yeah, that's good. And mind you, I'm asking you that question, but I run a lot too, so it's not like think you're crazy for doing that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, regular people, like, I'll tell them, oh, I'm just going on like an easy 6 mile, 7 mile, and they're like, easy, and I'm like, it's easier, but over time, definitely.
What do you get out of running?
So for me, I would say at first it actually wasn't for myself, just because of my parents. I just did it, but then I came to realize, like, one, it really is like I could just put myself out there stress-free. Running with teammates has been just the best part of it for me. I'm able to really just zone in or zone out of whatever's going on, and definitely stay disciplined, stay in shape. That's a really big part of it, but I just really enjoy being out here and just moving around.
So you do the 5K and the 10K most in
Correct,
college, right?
yeah.
Which one do you like better, 5K or 10K?
I think I'm definitely better at the 10K, but I feel like the 5K kind of challenges me because it's a balance between like my strength of my distance plus a little bit of speed, and just being strategic about how you race it, because the 5 and 10K are races that you really have to be smart about at the beginning of the race and then just pick it up like gradually. It's like kind of like a progressive run in my eyes, and so I think with that it's just the challenge that comes with it, and I genuinely like both of them, but definitely I lean more towards the 10, just because I'm better at it.
A lot of laps
25 laps, and it's crazy because I had my first indoor season this year, and the only thing I did indoor was the 5K, and it's the same exact amount of laps as the outdoor 10K, so I just had to say, like, it's the same amount of laps. It's okay, like, I'll be okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I ran the 10K once in my life in college.
Yeah.
My coach said, "There's no 5K today. You're running the 10K." And I said, "That's like," he's like, 26 laps. Don't worry, it's a good opportunity for you.
Honestly.
And I said, "Oh." I was losing track how many laps that you had to run.
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
Yeah, I never look at the lap counter in the 10K. I like rely on my coaches to yell at me like when I have like 5 laps left, and then I'll start looking at it, because if I see like 17 laps left, I don't want to see that, honestly.
Which do you like better, the 5K or the 10K?
10K. I really love the 10K. I have to admit, it's not the most favorite thing to do, but I really love the 10K. I think I have a lot more control of both my pace and just mentally it's a bit more easier. Even though 5K is still a very long race,
Yeah.
I do feel the difference in speed
Yeah.
that you're going. And so for me, the 10K, I really am able to just zone in and get on a pace and
Yeah.
be consistent with that.
What do you do when you're in a race and you're like, it's getting mentally tough? You're like, oh my God, there's all these good competition here and I'm starting to die here. What do you do there?
I've definitely had my moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. But also like, I just focus on kind of physical stuff first. So it's like my arm drive, just take 10 quick steps and just like look at the person in front of me kind of, and just kind of try tuning back in, because sometimes like for probably the first like 3 to 4 miles, I'm locked into a pace, and then when the race starts moving, I'll just think I'll be like a few deep breaths, like shake out the arms. That's the physical stuff that I do, and then the mental stuff that I do is more like sometimes like I'll have a teammate in there. So Sequoia used to be my teammate, and sometimes she'd be like 5-10 steps ahead of me, and I'd be like, well, you train with this girl, you can race with her. So it's like kind of just putting things into perspective of like, if I train this hard, it should be easier in a race technically.
Yeah.
But it's definitely mental. The 10K is definitely one of those mental races where you have to just keep checking yourself, and like and a lot of times I'll have like a coach or a teammate on the side just yelling lap splits at me, because the way that I break down a 10K is by laps, and I typically think about it as like 5 1Ks. I forgot what I do, but I split it up into like 5 by something, and then with like a 200 finish or whatever it is. I mean, that might be the 5K, but yeah, I split it up into like a workout, because I'm definitely more of a workout based person, because I train a lot faster than I actually race, and a lot of my coaches have told me that previously, and like I have a lot of goals for my 10K for the next season, but definitely just race like I train.
Wow. So okay, so when you're on lap whatever 22 and they shout out a time, you know how close you are, you know what pace you're going and everything?
It's the lap split, so I know my lap splits that I want to be at. I don't know like the general, like I know what time I want to finish at, and I also know like each 400 meter, but I don't take into consideration of like, oh, at 800 I want to be at this. So it's easier to digest for me, just so that I lose count of 400s, but I also know what my last 400 was, if that makes sense.
So they tell you, so someone will yell out 75 or something.
Yeah.
Okay,
so they'll yell at that, and that'll give me a gauge of like if I have to speed up, if I have to slow down, if I'm at a good pace, and that's how like I kind of figure out what time I'm at.
So when you do 5K or 10K, it sounds like you prefer to start off slower and pick up the pace, or vice versa?
So when it comes to track, I would say more so track. That is a difference. I think before the race, we already have a 400 pace in mind. Of course, we have a time also in mind, but it's more so the 400. And so for me, it's sticking to that time. You want to be as consistent as possible, especially for a 10K. Of course, the first lap, it probably goes out hard. And that's honestly, I think that's for any race.
Yeah.
But especially, once again, for a 10K, it's just sticking consistent to that time. You don't want to have different levels of it. I don't think, especially, it shouldn't be where it's like, let me go all out and then try to stick to it. It should be very consistent, but that doesn't mean that you're cruising during it, of course. So having a 400 time has helped me, and then usually our coach would yell out every 400, so we knew what time we were on. That especially has helped me for a 10K. For a 5K, it's still the same idea. It's just going to be a slightly faster pace.
You said you train faster than you race, actually.
I do. Unfortunately, I do. I think I just have a bit more mental toughness within workouts, just because I'm competitive enough that I'm still in the sport, but I'm not as competitive as like other people. So I absolutely rely on like the fact that I have to like start speeding up in the middle because I know people can outkick me because I also don't have the best kick in the world.
Yeah.
So I take that into consideration too.
Yeah.
So.
When you're in a 10K race and you're like, oh my gosh, this is just brutal, and it gets mentally challenged. How do you overcome that? What do you do?
I've had different ones. It's too bad I didn't have that much of a chance to do 10Ks as often, just because since it's so high, you're not able to do it as much during a track season. But the times I did, I would say something that really helped. I usually have a song that gets stuck in my head during the race, so I probably repeat like certain lyrics over and over again. During El Camino, when I did do the 10Ks, I also had my teammate Jacobsen, so we both were consistent with sticking to each other, and we would switch off. So it was kind of like staying on top of that and making sure that we were just near each other. So that helped. Yeah.
What do you see as Sequoia's strengths?
Honestly, she's very strong at the end of the races, and she just knows how to like clock a good pace, and I think I'm the opposite, so I'm a decent pacer each lap, but and I push the middles and the beginnings. It's just like that end part that I have to work on, and I think that kind of balanced out between the two of us, where we'd push each other, where when she'd be feeling it in the middle of the race, I'd like start picking it up, and then when I'd feel it at the end of the race, she'd start picking it up, and it just like clocked off of each other. And it really helped, especially in the 5 and 10K, where a lot of times in Juco El Camino, we'd be two people like pretty much like at least a bit ahead of the pack, and we just we'd kind of make an agreement at the beginning of the race where it's like, we'll take the first lap, I'll take the first lap, she'll take the next three laps, and then like just base it off of that, and then go by feel for the last like probably 5 laps or so. So it just really helped to have a teammate in there to push myself, and I know like I hopefully pushed her as well. So
yeah. What would you say are Amy's strengths?
I mean, like just not even racing or outside of racing, she's so consistent with her training. I think she's an amazing athlete and teammate. She's what kept me probably the most consistent, like in terms of like even training. When it comes to workouts, she goes all in. She really puts in that effort, and that just makes me want to do as good. And so being her training, like being able to train with her, I would say has really helped me in terms of both racing and just once again my training. And then when it comes to racing, I mean, she's just so aggressive with it, and that's the good part, is that I think sometimes a problem I had, especially in cross country, and I still have that problem, is that sometimes I don't get out as hard as I need to. So even in cross country, maybe there's a pack that I probably should be with, and I'm working my way to that pack instead of already being there. So with her, she goes for it. So she's really aggressive in a good way.
So she kind of sets the pace, and you're like, okay, I gotta keep up with her.
So I think that's definitely a big strength of hers. Yeah,
that's good.
And then of course she's consistent too.
What was the biggest challenge going from El Segundo High to El Camino? Like you're going from high school. Like what kind of suggestions do you have for someone if they're going from high school and they want to run in community college? What should they do? How should they prepare?
I mean, for the girls' side, because our distance doesn't really move up. I mean, we do mostly 3 miles in high school, but then move to 5K, but that's only like 0.1 of a difference. But I think, especially during track, I felt it because I moved up big distance to the 5 and 10. But also, I know my coaches knew, like, especially at El Camino, we had Coach Green and Dean who just retired. And they kind of knew that both Sequoia and I were distance people. And I think that helped, like, kind of boost like my running career, just because I definitely started off with like more 1600 meter, 3200 meters, and those were good distances for me, and they were fun for me in high school. But I definitely am more of like a 5-10K girl, and it shows. But I think the biggest change for me was just like the environment that I was in, like the load of schoolwork, obviously, outside of running, because running itself, I think, didn't really change for me until I moved to the 4-year level, just because I think I had coaches in community college where they kind of understood the transition, and they slowly built up my mileage. Mileage is also one of the bigger things that changed for me, because in high school, I was probably running no more than 30-40 miles a week, and now I'm probably, like, in junior college, I was at like 60 50 to 60 miles.
Yeah.
Now I'm upward 60 to 70. And I think with that, it's just like a slow progression is needed, because sometimes
yeah.
and I've heard like college stories where people go from like 40 miles to like 70, 80.
Yeah.
And I don't think for myself personally, because I'm very injury prone, that would be smart, just because I need a progression, and I need to be motivated to do that as well. So
Yeah. So given that there's no mile or 2 mile, it sounds like what you're saying is, hey, if you want to make the transition, you got to add some miles to the.
Absolutely.
And I'm guessing the Coach Green at the coaching at El Camino said, okay, we're gonna slowly bring you up to that level. That's
yeah,
key.
and I think it really helps that she really cares about like the smaller things, about like the strength and mobility, weights, like hurdle drills, like all of that stuff, because I did not do any of that in high school, and I found myself injured almost like literally every single year for those 4 years. I still ran decently, but it's just I knew that I had more to give to the sport, and that's why I continued in junior college, because I actually didn't think I was going to run past high school. And it was crazy because Dean reached out to me and he's like, hey, like we have Sequoia coming in, we'd love to have you. And I was like, oh, that's really cool that like coach wants me. So that's how I joined. And it kind of the same for Cal State Northridge, where I was like, oh, the coach wants me there.
What advice do you have for incoming community college students? If you're a high school student, you run track, you're going to go to community, you're like, okay, I'm going to run community college. What advice do you have for them?
I mean, just in general, I would always encourage joining the cross country or track team at your community college, whichever you go to. I think one, compared to high school, it is a different experience in terms of training and just the people you're surrounded by. I really do think we all motivate each other here, and I think we help each other a lot, and I think it's, once again, a different age group that you're going into, so just the teammates in general are a lot. I just enjoyed it more. But I think in terms of even like with school, it helped me once again stay focused, stay motivated, because I had to be consistent on things. Maybe a little bit more disciplined because they are tracking it.
It's a little more competitive. You got to be a little bit more on your toes.
There is a different level of competitive. You could, I think the competition out there really helps though. That's also another thing. And then, you know, I was racing certain times in high school, and then I came out here and I did faster times than that. So it's just you don't know what you're going to be able to do. And
so
I didn't know I was going to do the 10K, but I enjoyed that a lot.
Wow, 10K on you enjoy it. Yeah, you're probably a marathon runner in the future.
I think I might enjoy it a little bit.
I definitely so I have one more year as a collegiate athlete. I would love to run a marathon after.
I could see you doing that. I could definitely see you.
Most post-grad students do go into running, which is really funny to me, and I love it because like it spreads the running community, because that's like one of my favorite things about running is the community around, especially the South Bay and now up at Northridge, and just like the people there are very friendly, they're very welcoming, and just like you can be on the Strand and just have a person run by and be like, good job. So that's a big thing for me. But also for my season, like for cross country, I definitely want to make it to regionals. I definitely want to have better times during regionals, because it's definitely colder, because we're going up to Sacramento this year, I believe, and I'm definitely a SoCal girl, and I love my sun. I love 60 degrees is kind of cold for me, so I need to train for that. And then for track, I would love to be doing the double of the 5 and 10K as well again. And I have goals for the 10K, mostly just because I want to make it to regionals this year. Unfortunately, I did sprain my ankle 2 days before the 10K, and I did not realize. So I think for the 10K, I definitely want to go sub 36 and get a qualifying mark for regionals, which is very tough because my PR right now does stand at 36:40. But I have done it. I have cut down over like a minute and some change on my 10K before, so I think like with consistent training and like just that mindset and just not losing sight of my goals, that'll definitely work into it.
What are your future running goals? What do you?
I do admit, I think after college I might be done. In terms of like just the competition and everything like that. I do think possibly joining just a club and here and there, just enjoying it more so than training for it. But I'd like to say that I keep my options a little open. My goals though are once I finish school, I actually am going to move to Japan with my grandparents. So
Wow.
who knows? Maybe there might be opportunities out there as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe, like I
Tokyo
said,
Marathon.
maybe a marathon out there. Who knows? But I'm gonna say I'm keeping my options open.
You didn't do any strength training in high school.
No.
Going to college, you're like, hey, I gotta do some strength and mobility
Absolutely. Like,
Okay.
I'm not getting any younger at this point.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it sounds weird, but yeah, my body's definitely catching up with me right now. And
Well, you got
think,
a few years left in the warranty. I wouldn't worry about that. So-
yeah, absolutely. But I just think like it's very important just because I am very injury prone, and doing all that stuff had literally kept me uninjured for those 2 years that I was in community college.
So yeah. So what did you do? What did you do that kind of strength training wise, mobility? What did you do that helped limit your injuries? What did you?
I was in the trainers almost every day. Like not in a bad way of like doing treatments, but like for rehab, prehab, and like sometimes just stretching more. Like that sounds very simple, but like sometimes after runs, I'm like, oh, I'll stretch at home, and like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like every runner experiences that.
Yep.
And it's like I think the importance of that has helped.
What were your biggest challenges going from high school to community college?
I mean, it's always, I feel like going to, even in a different school, it's getting used to the program, different coaching styles. Something for me with coming to high school to here was that we never did mileage. We never counted mileage. It was always go out 45 minutes and then come back.
Yeah.
So that was something I actually had to get used to, was keeping track of my mileage, building up my mileage, because before in high school I have no idea what I was doing, like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
much mileage I was doing. I think another thing was I actually never really used a watch in high school, so my coach here really got me on that, and that helped a lot, just
Yeah,
being
yeah.
able to track it or just know what you're doing, your paces.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would say that was something that I had to get used to.
Yeah.
It was also just staying consistent with my mileage was
Yeah.
definitely something, because I'm just,
Yeah.
I would say I just enjoy running. I can't really say
Yeah.
I like tracking it though.
I just like being able to see and like know my surroundings, but also I've recently been learning how to like just hold on to a pace and just sit on someone, just because definitely moving from the junior college level to a Division I level just has been a change, just because there are amazing girls in that race, and I know like I cannot keep up with them for the
Yeah.
whole time, so
Yeah, yeah.
I just need to be smart about how I race now, and just being able to work with my teammates and within that race as well, of being like, oh, I can sit on these people and then gradually just pick them off. That's
Yeah.
just been like a strategy that my coach and I have been working on a lot.
How do you approach a cross country, like when you were at El Camino and you did the 5K
Mm-hmm.
cross country versus the 5K track? How would you approach those races a little different? How did you?
I think I did a lot better of strategizing when it came to track than cross country. If I'm gonna be honest, with cross country, I kind of don't go out there with a plan. I think because every course is different. That's the thing. Like, you know, with track, you're able to say like it's a lap, so you're able to put that 400 time.
Yeah.
But with cross country, it could have hills, it could be grass, it could be
Yeah.
anything. So
Yeah,
for me, when it came to cross country, it was kind of just knowing. I think as you train consistently, you actually know what pace is kind of your fast, I should say, like for a race.
Yeah, yeah.
So you just go out with try to get a good start.
Yeah, yeah.
And then stay consistent with that.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for me to say, just
Yeah.
because I'm sure others have a strategy, especially
Yeah.
with cross country, but I kind of just go out there knowing what my pace feels like.
Something that I've learned recently a lot, because we have a nutrition at Northridge, and nutrition is a big thing for us there, just because I realized like eating before runs and like within an hour after your run helps a lot, just fueling yourself, recovering, because especially with all the mileage I have to do, and a lot of times I have to double back or cross train back, I think fueling has been a very important thing for me as well for like the recovery process,
Yeah.
because I have learned that recovery is as important as the training that
Yes.
you do during practice. So those things just have helped me, and just getting more knowledge from like people like my trainers, my nutritionists, my coaches, like that has definitely helped me just get more information and just learn more about myself as well as an athlete, and just
Yeah,
figure it out from there.
So it sounds like going from high school to college, you're saying expect to put in more miles, definitely add some strength and mobility training.
Absolutely.
Look at your nutrition too.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
a big part, just because like, especially just like, and getting your vitamins in. I've noticed that helps a lot, get your vitamins in, because
Yeah.
my doctor said like, at the beginning of my running career, I was like really low on iron, really low on, there was something else. And since then, I've been taking my iron consistently. I've just like been trying to add more to my diet, and I just got my blood work done, and I have like a pretty high like iron level and serum ferritin levels. Green also really pounds that in.
And what did you do? What did you do to get those iron levels up? What did you eat?
A lot of my diet, I just like lots of spinach.
Spinach?
Lots of spinach.
Okay.
And just taking the supplements a lot of times, and just being aware of like what you eat as well.
Yeah.
Like, just I don't have anything specific of like iron, but like just having more balance.
That's good. I keep seeing this meme on the internet that says the new American dream is to eat real food.
Yeah.
And seems to be kind of a trend.
Yeah, which is good. Like, cause there's been like trends of like girl dinner where it's like you just throw together the most random things ever, and I'm like, as an athlete, you really can't do that just because like it's dangerous for your health, and it's dangerous for like staying injury free. And I think the biggest part was just like I don't calorie track because I've noticed that probably scares me a little. So I think my biggest advice is to fuel based on how you feel. Because that's a big thing that like in high school I was even though my coach was telling me a lot of times, oh, like your parents should be happy when you're eating, blah blah blah. I think I had a problem with like what I ate, and I was very controlling about what I ate. But I think everything in moderation and everything like eating until you're full and stuff like that really does help.